Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and I am back with Kimberly for interview number 12. Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi.
Hi. Today is part 2 of last week's interview. So we're recording these. We recorded them both April 12th, 2021. And love the 2 and the 1s repeating. And today we're going to talk about career, which we talked about a couple episodes ago. And we're just going to continue that evolution in that opening of career. So I think I want to start here with, well, what are you most excited about what's unfolding in, like, do you even call it career anymore? That even sounds like a funny, coming out of my mouth. I'm like, why is that coming out of my mouth? It sounds funny.
Yeah, I'm like, career. Well,
which is funny because I think it's actually the word you used last time in something that spurred this sort of, let's explore this a little deeper. So it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't feel like it's a career. I feel like it's a, it's what I want to do. It's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing.
So amazing.
It doesn't feel like work or a job, but I'm going to get paid for both.
I love it. Okay. So let's pause right there and let's talk about, do you feel like you were searching for a career? You've done a lot of different things. Tell us about all the things you've done.
Yeah, have about a week. No, I'm just kidding.
Every time you tell me something, I'm like, she is not that old. Like, how does she fit all this into these years?
Yeah. So, well, we won't mention every single MLM, but I think I've done a lot.
Okay.
I worked in the hotel industry.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done property management, leasing, running an apartment complex, being the resident manager. I could even say I've been a server. I've worked in wellness. I worked at a credit union. I worked at Spirit Aeronautics, which was maintenance and parts, which was not something I ever dreamed of doing at all. They just paid me really well. I was a esthetician instructor. Yeah, so I don't, I guess it'd be more, what haven't you done?
Yeah. I love that. And so was it just, I'm not happy, let me try something else? Was it opportunities yeah. She's shaking her head, yes.
Yep, it was, this is kind of fun. When actually I started college, I wanted to be a school teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be a teacher.
I get that.
And they, I specifically asked, do not put me in kindergarten for my observation. That's exactly where they put me. I walked in all excited. 4 hours later, I walked out with a headache and went straight to the administrative offices and changed my degree. And I was like, nope, that's not for me. And I changed it to, I think I went into the hotel. Oh, and I even did like sports medicine and being like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So funny. Yeah. And I think, I was also a massage therapist.
Yeah. What inspired that?
So I actually, when my grandfather passed away, I was on my way to take catechism as an adult. And because he was Catholic and he also practiced Reiki. And I was like, Grandpa, I'm like, I don't understand how you could be Catholic and do Reiki because it just didn't seem like they meshed.
Yeah.
And so I went and took one-on-one catechism with Monsignor, and there was this huge butterfly, yellow butterflies. That's usually my symbol that my grandfather's around. And so I did that. Well, after I was baptized, I went off to basic training. Oh, I was also in the Army. So when we moved to Florida, the first go round, I took Reiki. I became, I'm actually a Reiki master. And so I was like, well, how do I get my hands on people? Because not everybody's open to energy work. So I walked in on a Friday.
So I just want to point this out. how do I get my hands on people? Okay, keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. How do I get my hands on people? I was howling the shit out of it. So, my poor husband, I make a decision and I just go do something. And it always works out. Of course it does.
Right.
But I walked in on a Friday and came home and I was signed up for massage therapy school. It just all fell into place. It was easy. So I knew it was meant to be, right?
Yeah.
So I did massage school, and that's where it was really interesting because I was really able to open up and share Reiki while I was in massage school. And so it kind of gave me that foundation of opening up to energy work, and more people were starting to be familiar with what it was. So yeah, I don't know if I got off tangent there, off topic, but yeah, that's
how you got massage. Okay. So
yeah.
then is that what led to owning or to running a wellness center?
Well, fast forward, we moved back to Ohio. They wouldn't recognize my massage license. So I'm like, well, how do I get my hands on people?
How?
And so I walked in on a Friday, walked out, signed up for esthetician school to start the next week. And so I went through esthetician school. And the interesting thing is while I was in, and that last financial aid money came in, Ohio changed their laws. I would have just had to take a test.
Interesting.
So $12,000 in student loans later, I got my hands on people. But I could have saved myself $12,000 if I would have just waited a little bit longer.
Right. If you would have practiced the letting go and being inspired that you know now.
Yes. I would have saved myself $12,000. But I mean, it was a wonderful experience, and I don't have any regrets, but yeah, I could have learned to let go. And and then when I got out of esthetician school, it was one of those, I was working for somebody and I'm like, she's taking half my money and she's not doing anything.
Yes.
I wanted it all. So I opened up my own wellness center, and I ran a Groupon. And I had people coming from all over the state of Ohio to get a massage because it was a Groupon, which I thought was insane, but nobody else, Groupon was still new then.
Yeah.
So I ended up walking away after Groupon. I ended up walking away with like 50 loyal clients, making really good money.
Amazing.
And so that's what started the wellness center. But I got people in the door with like facials and waxing. That that it paid the bills. Well, how can I pay the bills? And then of course I got too big for my britches. How do I make this bigger?
Yes. How
expanded my wellness center, and it didn't go as well as I thought it would. So I moved back to the smaller building, and then 6 months later I got bursitis in my shoulder, and the physical aspect of doing massage just I don't do it anymore. But and now my shoulders are feeling better, but yeah, it's not what I want to do.
Yeah. Oh, so interesting. It's so interesting because I like there's so many things in here about career, right? So, the how do I, which is, I mean, you had money chaser tendencies. That's who I was. Like it was let me go do the thing that I think is going to get me there. How? Yep. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, I'll do this. I think I need this. This will solve the problem I have, right? This will make people show up. This will do this, right?
Let me go take one more class.
Yes. I think you're actually more successful at the howing than I was. It might have cost, I don't know, it might have cost you more money, but you were definitely more successful at it. So that's cool. But it's interesting. Oh man, there was another point I had to make. The how. Oh, the howing going bigger, right? This, how do I go bigger? Oh, I open a bigger space. And I think for so many people that do have businesses or do have things, what you really want, and you and I can have this conversation, you really wanted more money. I don't really think you wanted a bigger space, more clients, more overhead, more to take care of, but you wanted more money, but you weren't clear about that. Or you thought for 1 second about that clarity on money. And then you went, oh, I must have to go bigger, right?
Yes. And there were other people involved. And I thought, well, if I took that same technique that the lady I was working for used. I wasn't taking half of what they were making, but I was taking some, and I wasn't having to do anything
Yes.
other than have more overhead,
Right.
more advertising. So I did have more to do.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's that sneaky thing. We think like, oh, this is more money, less work. And very often when we're at, and I would say this is a place, like if you were my client in that moment, I would have said, this is the place to like expand into your future self, right? That this, maybe the more money doesn't come from that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would not have seen that. And I would have been like, you're wrong.
Right. I'm not working with you anymore.
Nope. I didn't see you. You got to go big or go home, right?
Right. Yeah. Would you believe that, my massage therapist doesn't understand what he has on the table. We're off friends and I just listen to like the expansion and I'm like, yeah, oh, okay, cool.
More work does not mean more money.
Right. Yes. Right. But that's that's part of our story. Like, oh, if I have more work, I'll make more money. And I'm willing, very often, then this is what happens to our brain. I'm willing to do more work if I get more money.
Yes.
Right. Because I want the more money instead of, how could I work less and make more money?
Yeah. That's what I'm totally about now.
I love
work
it.
Less, more money.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So now you're open to that. So we had done an episode, as we mentioned at the beginning, a couple episodes ago, about just about your career and how that was unfolding and being open, right? Because what you've really done a really good job of the last year is not trying to figure that out.
Yes.
You follow inspired. So talk to us a little bit about journals and how that's unfolding in terms of, what do you call this? Like getting paid to do what you love, which we career. Getting paid.
No,
to do
it's
what
not
you
a
love.
career. Getting paid to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it.
Yes, I like it. All right.
So I've always loved journals and pens, and I have a Glowforge, and I like to feel, like touch things. And so journals for me, I will probably always have pen and paper, no matter how digital we go. But I made these journals and I feel like I'm not inspired to do them that way anymore, unless it's like a keepsake type journal. So I kind of I laid that down because I wasn't inspired anymore. And I still have, I think probably 40 of the little things that go in to make it's the metal binder piece.
Yeah.
And maybe someday I'll do something with those, but I'm like, if I don't, that's okay. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I let that go and there was no judgment about it. I think there might've been a little bit here and there, but I went, no, I'm not inspired. That's okay. I'm not inspired. And so fast forward to now, I have been taking digital art classes. And I still have this, I'm still inspired with journals. Like that's totally inspired. I hadn't let the idea go, I let the how go. Wow, I think I just realized that in my own head.
I was going to say, let's say that again. You kept the idea, but you let the how go.
Yeah.
And I just want to catch listeners up really quick. So if you heard a couple episodes even ago in Kimberly's first series, she talked about, it was after your future self workshop, being inspired and finding these new ways to do journals. And that's kind of what you're talking about. And it was very inspired and it was very fun. It was very creative and it was incorporating all of these things and you're getting all of this inspiration. But what you did is as soon as it wasn't inspired, you kept the love and the idea, but you put down the how.
Yes. And that was a complete aha just now.
I love
saying
it.
that out loud. So yeah, I set down the how and I still love journals. Well, so just, I don't know, was it a week ago? My days are running together because probably I'm on vacation mode, but I started to go to bed and I was like, I'm going to watch an art video. And I went to watch one. I'm like, I don't want to watch that one. And I started with digital journaling. And so I started watching that one. And she said, well, if you haven't done this yet, maybe go watch this video. So I went to that video, started the introduction. She said, well, if you haven't done this, go to this one. Needless to say, I went to the first video she recommended. I started there, and then I had a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited to make or create digital journals because I can incorporate my own art, and I don't have to worry about having the paper printed.
Mm-hmm. That overhead we were just talking about,
That
right?
overhead, yes. Because I created a journal for myself. I went to have it printed out, and it was over $200 just to print it. I was like, holy cow, who's this? I mean, just even the wood piece alone. So my brain was going nuts. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't even spend that.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, now I get to create these journals. It incorporates my art, yet it's also something that I can sell to others, and I don't have any overhead. It's literally digital. It's on my computer. I can share a file. Boom, it's done. So easy. It's easy.
I love the easy. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
it's amazing. It's so amazing when it's easy. And it's so amazing when you let it be easy, because I'm sure you've had experiences going to buy a bigger space. I want to make more money. I have to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you can't let go of the how. You can't let go of the idea because they're connected. And I love that you got to that place.
Yes. And I love that you, like, that was an aha. Like I got it, but I guess I didn't see it in that way.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm going to have to sit with that and absorb and let that sink in. Because it's
Yes.
big. I think almost every single interview we do, there's always an aha.
Oh,
I get things, but then they're just bigger.
Right. I totally get that. And I love that you are, and I want to point this out for listeners, your honesty about, like, I wouldn't pay $200 for a journal. So there are some coaching out there that I have heard, like, would, oh, well, make yourself feel worthy of that. Right. Yes. And it's like, no, like, if it's a no, it's a no. Like, and there's you could have forced that, or you're like, no, and here's a cooler idea, an easier idea. Cause we just said more money, less effort, less work.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I want to talk about another piece of this, about dresses. Tell us how that is happening.
So it was so fun. I had taken a class and I shared this design with my sister, and there wasn't really a whole lot of anything. And then I did it again when I got my new iPad that was manifested, of course.
Yes.
And when I sent it to her, I was just sharing what I was practicing. She's like, oh my God, I love that. I want to put that on a dress. I was like, oh, awesome, cool. So next thing I know, she's calling me and asking me, she's like, hey, it's still okay that I used that, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, why? She's like, well, because I already ordered it in a yard.
Fabric,
yeah, yes. A yard of fabric. And so then she got it in, and she called me so we could FaceTime and showed my design on a yard of material. And it was gorgeous. I was like, oh my gosh, that's my design on fabric. How amazing is that? And then she sewed up a little dress, and she's actually launching it. She's decided to go with a production company that's, made here in the USA. And my design on a dress will be launching, I believe, this August, and it'll be available in retail boutiques.
That is awesome.
Yes, it's so exciting. And then she asked me to design a Christmas one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about, it was really interesting because I was excited, but there was no, well, how can I do this? What can I do to grow it or whatever?
Right.
And she offered some suggestions. And when it's inspired, I've gone to look at them, like different companies for fabric. I love seeing my designs on fabric. I just think that's really fun. And it's opened up some other opportunities of creating, like somebody was looking for a specific shower curtain. Yes. Like a color. I said, hey, can I design that for you? Because I'm practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's not about the money for me. It's the practicing, and I'm enjoying creating and learning how to use the programs that I'm using. And so, yeah, I'm just having so much fun.
That's amazing. I love it. All right. And then after we hung up from our last career episode, I told you something that I hadn't announced yet. You want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
I do. So I, even in my future self, like workshop and my scripts, I talk about coaching and I talk about working with Cassie. Well, and then Cassie drops this little nugget of like serving me my dream on a silver platter. And she says, "Are you still interested in being a coach?" And I'm like, "What?" Because I'm thinking 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And no, it's happening this year. And I am officially an Enchanted Coach in training, and it is freaking amazing.
Yay!
Yay.
Amazing. All right. So tell us what that's opened up for you. Tell us why that felt like a yes.
So I used to be a life coach. I used to be a lot of things. um, and I used to I've looked into other coaching programs, and it even wasn't about the money. It was more of I want to be able to support people. And what I have found is that Cassie's program, it works. My life is, I'm magical. My life is magical. Everything's magical. And to have the ability to take that and support other people in that way with a program that I know that works and is freaking magical is a dream come true.
Yay.
And she served it to me on a silver platter. I mean, yeah. Of course I want to say I manifested it.
Of course.
But Cassie I didn't have to worry about how it was coming.
Mhm.
Cassie was inspired. And so here we are, and I'm learning to step into being the coach that I want to be, that I've always wanted to be. I just didn't realize, again, because back in the day with all my other hats, I was forcing, well, how do I do this? I kept taking classes after classes after classes, and none of them just fit. There was still something missing.
Right.
But not here.
Yay. That's amazing.
Yes.
I love it. One of the things I'm most excited about, I mean, you did manifest it. It's a co-creation, right? Is that you get to live that script. You get to live one of your first scripts where you're creative, working with clients, doing this other thing, all of the things, because you don't have to focus solely on one in order to pour the energy to create it, right? You just get to step in and be the coach.
Yes.
Yeah. How does that feel? Like when we go back to, having a wellness center in order to do all these things, how does it feel to just step in and be the coach?
Oh, amazing, easy, magical. Figure out the how.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is, I think that is probably the biggest thing is I don't have to figure anything out anymore.
Right.
And I think sometimes I don't recognize that I don't do that. I think that sometimes the analyzing is a little sneakier for me now. Yeah. But it feels so much better to not be forcing or figuring out. Mm-hmm. Allowing feels more in alignment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, stepping into just being a coach it's badass.
It is badass. And tell us how you're not forcing that how either, how you're allowing your future self to show up, leveraging inspiration to even share. You already have a waiting list. You already have people on your waiting list.
Yeah. So I hadn't shared with like anybody other than my husband, my kids, but I hadn't publicly announced it. And I kept waiting. And I was like, I don't know why I'm waiting. I just know I'm not inspired to do anything about it. Mm-hmm. Well, then one night it was like 9:30 and I sat down and I got on Facebook and I'm like, I'm going to share this now. And something flew out of my fingertips and I posted it. Didn't even go back and read it. Amazing. So it was totally inspired and I trusted that because it totally came from my heart. Mm-hmm. And my brain didn't overanalyze or nitpick what I was writing, which was that's new space for me. And I got a lot of feedback from it, like, oh, you're going to be amazing, or congrats. And there was even a part, I think, where the reason I didn't want to share it is because I was opening that door for people to have an inside track to my sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is my space. This is where I can show up, and I am totally 100% authentically me. And I'm ready to step out and do that in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that in baby steps.
Yes.
And then I just recently, again, was inspired, sat down and shared my last set of interviews, my year of growth. And then my first day on vacation, I get a phone call. I want to be on your wait list. I was like, yes. And I didn't have to do anything. It was just because I shared something that was inspired in the moment to share it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting there like, well, when do I share this? Or, well, what do I say? Or, again, I wasn't howling the shit out of it.
Right. Exactly. Oh, and so I want to wrap. I'm so excited about this, and I don't want to leave this interview before we talk about investing and investing in property. And so you tell us sort of, because this was some coaching, and which is really fun, but you checked on something, and then you read Investing Secrets for a Champagne Life. And so tell us that story.
Okay. So my assignment was, and this is my Manifest 10K assignment, go learn something about money. And I went, okay. So I happened to have a conversation with Joshua. He wants to invest in a 4-unit condo. That way we can stay at it whenever we want. We can make money from it, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm like, so I shared that whole conversation, which was amazing that it happened and how it happened. And that we were going to make an appointment when we get back to talk to his retirement person. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just go Google how to invest in a condo. And then Cassie pointed out how to invest in a condo. So she was inspired to share with me to go read Investing in a Champagne Life. Oh my gosh, it's so different than I was howling it, but it was sneaky. I didn't recognize that I was howling it. And so I read the book. I have a tendency to read something and then go back and take notes so that it's just, in my brain. And I'm a magical badass investor.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best things I took away from the book. But there's a lot of information in there, but it's not howling it, which is so different than how I would have done it in the past. And so I actually asked I wanted you to ask me.
Yeah.
And you're co-creating, and what you want and what somebody else wants is different. The details. Can you still want what you want, but you let go of the details? Well, then, of course, I asked that question last night. And the conversation this morning with Joshua was, you picked a really good place. He goes, what if, when we talk to his retirement and stuff, he goes, what if we invest in one place? He goes, and then we can take the revenue from that to invest in a 4-unit condo. And I said, of course, yes, absolutely. And we're not figuring anything out. We're doing what's inspired.
Yeah.
As far as going and talking to somebody, and which is totally different than how we would have done it in the past.
Yeah. I love that.
More fun this way.
Yes, I love that. And so I want to wrap up kind of with coming back to where we started. We started talking about all the hats. You mentioned that, like, I did this, I did this, I did this. And so that was a lot of different things. And it was a lot of chasing the next thing, the how, all the things, right? And so now, you're a magical badass money manifester, right?
Yeah.
And it's still, when you listen to this, somebody might go, oh, that's a lot of things, right? You have dresses, you have journals, you're being a coach, you're going to be an investor. How is that different? Because I know it's different, but how is it different to become all those things versus what you did in the past?
Because I'm not chasing a damn thing.
Yay!
That's how it's different. it's one of the, I will bring this up, Joshua mentioned that we could manage it ourselves. And I'm like, nah, I want easy.
Yeah.
I want to collect rent, and I want to use it when I want to use it. And so I think I design something for a dress or material when I'm inspired. So I'm going to have different avenues of money coming in, yet they're all easy and they're all inspired. I'm not out there chasing someone to rent my property or someone to buy my design or someone to sign up for my coaching program or whatever. I forgot the fourth thing that I'm doing.
Journals.
Journals. Yeah. I'm not out there trying to sell my journals. I'm following what's inspired. And when I'm in alignment, there are going to be people who show up who know how to do something that I don't want to do or don't know how to do, that are going to want to help me. And I'm going to be open to receive and allow them to help me.
Yes.
Before, I would have tried to wear every single hat and force it and figure out the how. Now I'm not doing that.
Yes.
I don't know if that wraps it up in a
It
pretty
does.
little bow.
Yeah.
But
absolutely. And for our listeners, that alignment comes from your future self, right? Not from wanting any of those things. The alignment is the alignment to your future self and just following wherever you get taken, basically, versus trying to force that path.
And I think before I would get stuck in well, nothing's happening, I have to go do something.
Yeah.
Because I think being still and allowing things to open up and giving it space.
Yeah.
I was impatient. And I won't say that I'm like super great now with, I want what I want when I want it. But what I've realized is that when I do let it go, it does come so much faster. Because again, the perfect evidence of that is I wanted to be a coach. And I thought that was 5 years out. Yeah. Here I am.
Yes.
It's not even a year ago. And I was asked, Cassie, are you ever going to do a program? I think I asked you like several different times.
Yes.
And it's now versus 5 years from now.
Yes.
So.
And I think the answer always was, just for listeners, like if and when it's inspired, probably someday, but only when it's inspired, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So you get everything you want.
You do.
When you let go, and it's even better when it shows up. Yeah. Because it's absolutely perfect, because it wasn't forced. It's in alignment. And there's so much happiness along the way because other things come up. Yeah. I mean, like good things.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't recognize that you're waiting. Because you're not.
Because it's fun. You're not, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing this moment in your journey with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I love these interviews.
They're amazing. Thank you all for listening. Come back and check out what else is awesome and amazing in Kimberly's life next time.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.